And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time on Austria-Hungary. On Humankind as Austria-Hungary at the moment. We're in the 5th era. We've got the Stars era up, but we don't really got the technology. That's why we're holding off. And obviously, that kind of goes hand in hand. Looking for 4 more techs for the Science Star. We'll probably get the influence for the Aesthetic Star. So mostly work on those two. If we can get the money flowing, I wouldn't be opposed to Merchant Star. Getting more people wouldn't be bad either. Although, that's also showing us kind of where we are, right? We're looking maybe 2 stars. We're getting close to the end of the era. About 650 more fame to go. So actually thinking about that, let's go ahead and take a look at the cultures. If you've watched my other Let's Plays of this, I've been through the cultures before. This is maybe not going to be super surprising. I'm thinking for this next era, we either want science or money. So as much as Australians and 20% more industry on cities would be real strong, we've got industry from earlier eras we really don't need. Food on tile producing food. Tempting. The big thing here that I think is actually really good is probably going to be the science on these agronomy labs. Right, so the lab and food buildings. That's an option. Not hard enough on the science, really, for what I think we want. Chinese. Money. That's an option. +7 money per attached territory. Provides a lot of worker slots. So if we're looking for jobs to grow our cities, to take advantage of stuff, not a bad option. Also got a heavy multi-rocket launch barrage. We need long-range bombardment capacity, maybe. Egyptians. More influence. Influence on emblematic districts. Archaeological site. Influence per adjacent district. Influence per emblematic district. We need more influence. It's looking like we don't need more influence. I think we're getting enough from being Austria-Hungary that I think that's going to carry over into the next era. Gunner, anti-colonialism, attacking stronger units, insurrection theory. Probably not what we're looking for with Egypt there. Indians, influence on territory. So this is another aesthetic-centric one. Peacekeepers, bonus combat strength for each war declared on their owner. So that's either going to be really, because most of the wars have been declared on us. We haven't really declared many ourselves. This might be very powerful, but again, it's influence, and we really don't need more influence. Japan. We've done Japan before. 20% cheaper tech is just great. Industry science, so that's tempting. Japan is tempting. And assuming we can get some aluminum, early fighter. The Swedes. Science. Pure science. Hard science. Stealth corvette. Screening ship. Anti-aircraft. Escort ship. Stealth. Lots of science. Wouldn't be bad. So if we, let's say, lost the Japanese, Swedes would make a nice number 2 for science. I think the Japanese, because it's just more industry. Plus 20% cheaper science tech, it's going to get us probably a bit more than flat science at this point. Plus science per farmer. So this is food per population. These are basically an agrarian science combo. Potentially an option. Stealthy operative missile. Aerial stealth missile consumed to platform. Single strike action on a distant target. Okay. So whether that takes people or not depends on whether that is real bad or not. Maybe not do that. Expansionist, although it's an expansionist with a very heavy influence focus. Multi-role aircraft, personal aircraft which can perform both patrols and airstrikes efficiently. Defense agency, so money science. +2 bonus combat strength when launching artillery, air, or missile strikes on unit. They might have to be on the defense agency for that, though. Not sure if that's a global effect or not. Money generated from ongoing trade. If there's ongoing trade, yeah, It's also +5 money, +5 science on the garrison. Okay, so we build this, garrisons have more money and science. We haven't necessarily built a lot of those. Soviets. Minus 20% unit industry cost, +3 strength on unit. So if we were like, we need to fight. Rah, 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 fight. That's the Soviets. They're also expansionist. We get the Red Army tank, which is an armored vehicle with field repairs, regenerates health after battle. Probably the best money industry option. Creates a new deposit of weapons, which is automatically exploited. Which is +2 combat strength, but -10 stability per weapon on all cities. Okay, we might have some stability issues, so we went Soviets. But yeah, if we wanted to, if we're like we're ending it by killing the other guy. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so I think the hardest thing that I'm not seeing is there's no science money. So we've either got to double down on science or double down on money. We'll make the final decision, I think, when we have all the science. We'll see how quickly we're going through the science at that point. If we're like, we got all the science, we just need to get more fame, we'll probably go China for the money. There's a little bit of science in there because we can do research slots and trader slots. If the sciences are starting to feel a bit expensive again, we'll probably go Japan. Because it's not going to be just enough to research, we're going to have to build the thing we research. So the research-science combo here is going to be nice. And we don't have a lot of research quarters necessarily to put a research institute adjacent to, otherwise Swedes would be a little bit better. Swedes might be like our number 3. If something goes wrong and, like... Yeah, if something goes wrong, we might do Swedes as a backup. Yeah, thinking Japan or China. With Swedes, maybe the number 3. Something goes weird. We'll see how that goes. That's a overview of what I'm thinking about the eras. How many regions do they actually have over here? It's a little bit hard to tell because it's like... I'm not sure if they've... Have they only gotten the 4 regions? They presumably have more than 4 regions over there. That's a region... Okay, there are some internal division lines. It's hard to tell where one region ends and the next region begins in their home content, because the cities have gone cityscape. I'm guessing where the walls... So the walled-in bits are the city centers, and the outer areas that have urban sectors are... the lesser zones, yeah. So we could say maybe sneak in, burn an administrative center down. Something like that. In the meantime, we're continuing the siege here. We get a siege weapon every turn. So we'll at least wait 4 more turns to get the full siege weapons, then we'll probably start the attack. Or hope that they sally, one of the two. Oh. Okay. The game had froze there. City starvation, that's not good. That's probably due to units standing up somewhere else, though. Yeah, not making enough food there anymore. Oh, and some of your city is under the occupation. Okay. So I can't actually do the oil, because the oil is in the zone. So we'll try to balance the budget there, food-wise. A bunch of detected stealth units that are about to die. Okay. How the game mechanics work. Maybe not a good idea to... Well, our stealth units are stealthing. Should wait until they stealthed before I deploy in the face of a naval unit that could quickly blap them all. Let's think about it that way. Yeah, I suppose if I'm going to do a sort of stealth infiltration, we want to get over to there. To burn a place down, or up to there. Both of which with their current boats are going to be difficult for the stealth units to do. Because apparently I never picked up the tech for... I didn't pick up 3 Mastels. So our ship, or our civilians at the moment, can't actually... It is... Yeah, we don't have trade wind, so our... I think our guys can safely go to sea. Oh, naval transport, there we go. Naval unit replaces the land unit, embarked to travel against ocean tiles. There might be an alternative one that we might be getting close to. Or I may have needed that one for it to work. Oh, the alternative one I'm thinking of is... there we go. We'd have to get to the next area and do amphibious transport. Or amphibious warfare for it. So I need to do one of those ones before we can really do a good naval landing. Other than sort of sneak through the... There's a path from here to here to here, sort of sneak across here, land there, which we're not going to be able to do in the face of that. We're going to have to blow that up first. So we got to get the fleet together for that. Mechanization coming up. Here's mechanization. Stronger, faster, more productive. Mechanization is the dream of tomorrow today. Access to more food, access to more industry, more industry, more industry. It's almost like this is what the era is named after. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame to disband such veteran heavy capital ships. I'll actually hold on to them just because they might be a good way to... Specifically a good way to deal with people that come in close, but I'm not going to do expeditionary with the non-steam ships. We'll do ironclads and steam frigates versus this fleet. Same sort of logic over here. Yeah, for you to do anything effectively, you need to be more stealth. There we don't have any food people working there. Yeah, let's focus on science. 152 industries, nice. 20 plus 2 access. We don't have anyone in industry, so this is actually a bit weaker. So we probably run the access first. Do we have a building that scales off, or infrastructure that scales off of coal? There's going to be one. I maybe don't have it yet. Oh, there it is. 5 per coal. Okay. So in which case, this is a... This would basically be a plus 10 global. Because most of my cities have that building. So this would be plus 10 global, plus 20 local, or 152 local. Do the 152 local, followed by the 10 global, followed by the food. Maybe followed by you. And 10, 16 plus probably again 2 more global, or 10 more global. Don't have anyone who can. Or actually, here we do have people working in industry, and probably still would have. So yeah, let me see that cycle. Okay, turn to siege. 2 more turns and we'll have all the siege weapons done. And these guys don't do anything while we're under siege. Nope, we got a naval battle. Why are you... Don't know why they deploy so far away. Okay, let's put the ironclads in the back. Put the steam frigates in front. Demonstrating why the capital ships are, you know, strong. Okay, apparently I'm gonna need more capital ships. Or I'm gonna have to find some anti-capital. Well, actually, what I should apparently build is build torpedo ships, because they've got a full capital ship fleet, and that's the weakness of the capital ships. Other than just raw massed capital ships, apparently. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab, like, 7 of those. Suppose that was one way to get the budget balanced. Get the fleet absolutely smashed. Probably not the preferred way of doing it, though. Okay, and then from that siege... Yeah, it's time to start the siege. That is why we built siege weapons this time. So our elephants can get inside the walls and cause massive mayhem. Conquer Caleb.
It is good to see a friendly face.
Needs to say, over the next couple turns, they should rapidly become much more willing to negotiate. The siege is over. The fortress has been cracked. Ongoing war can now be ended. I wonder why.
You?
I don't
What
actually
is
wonder
it?
why.
Don't get comfortable.
Oh, apparently I am not allowed to do anything other than accept their capital. So,
Your support, it is our rock in a storm.
My people have spilled enough blood. We surrender.
and they be crushed. Or they've somehow got a city someplace else. I think they've been crushed. I don't think they've got any more territory. They gotta, of course, put us one over the limit again. That's fine. Disrupted from Kerma. Because they're sacking my port. That's slightly annoying. Maritime measures. In the great maritime city of Kerma, the introduction of standardized units has not been well received. Already mistakes have been made with the quantities of materials and engineering calculations. Shipbuilders and merchants alike warn that their commercial interests will be harmed if they're forced to adopt new measures, should they be given an exemption. Its stability lose industry. We'll assist. We'll pay money for industry. Okay, well, if they're burning my port down, I need to react a bit more aggressively than procrastination. Trying to build up the building and the infrastructure instead of the fleet. I don't know, this is the new district could do with some stabilizing. So building a building that particularly provides stability is not a bad place to start. Coal mine's not a bad thing to build. Public fountain, apothecary. Okay, see if we can stabilize the city reasonably quickly. And then tech-wise, yeah, urban planning we need for the next city slot, which is good because we currently have a city. And then after that, we'll be wanting to do probably trench into aeronautics. So that's 4 techs. How much do I need for the next 3? Yeah, so we'll at least do the 3. We might do the era shift on that 4th one. So I don't think we want to hang around enough to get the 3-star on the science here. I think we want to air up sooner. Okay, so if he didn't spawn back in because there's no place for him to spawn, fair enough. We had an osmosis event somewhere. Oh, they're still gonna get to burn the port down. Fiends. Wasn't able to get the torpedo boats built in time. Prohibitive weight. The inhabitants are tired of perennial chaos that comes with the lack of official city center. Daily life is difficult without clear leadership, and the city economy is growing as well as it could. As a result, citizens have taken matters in their own hands and formed a number of organizational committees in many manners, from agriculture to finance. Do you wish to step in? So I can prohibit it and get a +1 city cap. Or we can let's see how they get by with an administrator. This could be a great example of sales governance. We'll do that for the fame. And obviously, we're only like something turns out from picking up the next city size. Oh, that wasn't a smart plan, I suspect, because we don't have any... There's no land in the combat zone. If there was land in the combat zone, that would have been smart. Yeah, no, the torpedo boats are getting torn up because we don't have any range. And while they're comparable, apparently, to the ironclads, biggest thing that's going on that's sort of benefiting us is the just absolutely super chief. Right, the ironclads cost 6 people. We're doing 7-to-1 casualty ratio, which is not good enough, but... Okay, so we're gonna have to build more torpedo boats, or we're gonna have to get to better subs, apparently. And when you guess the better subs are in the next era. Right, we're gonna need to get into... Submarines are almost early next era. Bunker, rifle, diesel submarine. There we go. That's the upgrade that we're looking for. Yeah, that'll be the upgrade to the torpedo boats. Probably we shouldn't get as riggedy wrecked trying to go up against the ironclads. My Junicol style strategy to deal with the ironclads didn't work very well. Okay. Population consumption is nice. Unit consumption is also nice. So that means we're going to worry less about food. Stability on all people. Farmers' quarters being cheaper is actually not that important. Stability for research is also real nice. So microbiology overall is pretty nice. We did lose the battle at Kerma, which is maybe not surprising, given how badly the torpedo boats handled such close quarters. Try something. Industrial production. Fields of plenty. Nationalized industries and get extra farmer slots and more food, or privatized industries get trader slots on city per farmer's quarter, get money on all cities. So push left, push right. Do I keep my industry on cities, or do I go back to stability? That's the money option, obviously. Well, the influence will do
National control of vital products and resources, paradoxically, could provide more freedom and autonomy.
Back towards faith. Sure. We'll
Whether they're smarter or luckier, they've risen above the rest.
Just got the achievement for getting 500 food a turn in the city. It's called the achievement of Just Eat. Industry and access, industry, mental stability, and into food. Aristocratic evolution. Oligarchy, more money, but get a stability hit. Democratic Republic, science and research quarters, adjacent commons quarters. Probably the Democratic Republic if we can.
With so many cultures and traditions, it takes a lot of voices to properly represent the will of the people. The means of production improve dramatically. Fewer people can produce more.
Okay, we've got 23 turns before we get detected. So we should be able to get onto land, I'm assuming, before we get detected. And then that's a unit that probably can stand its own, at least in ground combat. Grab the stability. Yeah, grab the stability. And then follow that up with probably replacing the dockyard that got burnt. Working conditions. Worker rights or profit focused? Probably worker rights. It's reminding me that I can go up in air. Which isn't wrong. We at least want to get 2 more techs before we go up in air. Probably grab the next aesthetic star as well. Random a port down. There's not much I can actually do about that, to be fair. Actually, there's something I can do about that, because that's not the capital ships. That's, well, that is the capital ships. I thought I sent one of those to the bottom. Guess they really got around to replacing it real quick. Okay. Okay, I finished burning the thing down. It's a little bit annoying. We are having a naval battle here. They had more than one ship. Don't know where the rest of their ships are. There they are. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay. So this region doesn't actually need more food, although it probably wouldn't complain if it had some more. Probably do the same sort of get the industry. Can't pretend because nothing useful can be added to it. Added to the zone. Pouring machines the upgrade. Apparently I can do you. Apparently pollution's considered useful. It isn't. Do you. And then we'll probably think about the food afterwards, but it's not a super important zone. It's functional zone, not super important. Actually, sure, I can build this turn because the combat zone, where the combat zone is. So I'll rotate over to doing more science instead. No, we're going from... Oh, they turned the detection up, so we're going to get detect in 5 turns. Although that's still enough time for us to properly get ashore. Okay, so 2% deficit. This is going to provide 10. That's going to get us up to 8. Then we're going to follow that up either with a Commons Quarter for 35. Over the double farms course. Yeah, that's probably fine. And we got the battle. And yeah, they're like in a donut up there for whatever reason. Are they moving around? A little bit. No, apparently because they can see us. Fair enough. The raw devastation of enemy firepower. Yep. Kind of hard to understand why our guys are just that bad, apparently. Other than maybe formation or what's ever going on, but... Apparently, even after losing so many units, because of how valuable their units were and how worthless mine was, that's still considered a successful trade. Okay. And yeah, you were delayed, although you should be progressing again. Urban planning and research, okay. That would add some stability. We don't necessarily need that in the capital, but we'll grab it quickly. What I think we'll grab quickly in the capital, otherwise, is just a bunch of torpedo boats. Oh, that's not the capital, that's Paramount. Probably do the same thing in the capital, to be fair. Grab a bunch of torpedo boats. To make up for the fact that our navy got riggedy wrecked over the last couple of naval fights. Stability per population or money per population. Lead or gold. The Emperor files perilous close to instability, criminality on the rise in every corner of the land. The presence of the City Watch gives you the first chance to punish wrongdoers in a way you see fit. Move towards progress or move towards tradition again. Yeah, we'll go towards
Just don't turn the legal system into a surreptitious way to impoverish your enemies.
Okay.
A full-on rebellion. This seems to be more than a minor nuisance for the local police to handle.
Draftees, because the stability here is below 0. Very percentage wait time. Okay, so grab the closest bunch of elephants, redirect them to deal with the problem. Anyway, we'll get the next when we get the next tech. I think we'll be ready to era. Okay, that was easy because they just bleeded themselves. Okay. Brilliant, dealt with. Building subs, which is good. We're going to want a full batch of subs. Capital punishment. Lifetime sentence. So 1 stability per regular district or 1 stability per population on all cities. We got the influence. I think we'll go right. We'll even get a little more science, which is probably good.
There's nothing wrong with a society based on boundless optimism.
Okay, waiting for them to complete the fight. There's our turn. Roll you up. Torpedoes into the middle of the formation. Brings that one down. And we're technically here to attack the surface ships. Well, I suppose the torpedo boats are still technically surface ships. We've not evolved to undersea boots. Lost the undersea boat. Or lost the torpedo boat. Okay, that was a battle they actually considered the victory for them, although they still lost ships. And the ones we're losing are reasonably cheap, other than the old capital ships that have decided, at least for the moment, are not worth keeping anyway, so... that's probably good enough. We'll probably end up doing... Grand Parade into science afterwards on you. Unless we had another useful tech. Children's rights. Children education, research slots in the city, or outpost per research quarter, or child employment.
The long-term
More science,
strategy
please?
seems to be smarter if it's built on lifting everyone up.
That. You actually want more stability. Probably just doing even more science is probably the way to go. Right, the science provides stability. Yeah. Okay. No, same over here. We're doing the sawmill. Yeah, you probably want the sawmill, although you probably can do something with that. Okay. House horrors. Factories dominate the city's magnificent engine productions. Fortunately, devastating explosion of an arms factory in Kerma has killed hundreds of workers, seizing the Empire's attention. With issues of workers' rights fresh in the citizens' minds, protests for safety conditions are growing. Profit focus. Stamp out or reform. So basically I'm going to be forced to pick a side. Money or stability. And we'll probably go bold reform. Give some workers' rights. Oh, and you can now build your oil. That's good to see. And stability, and stability. Army is no longer concealed, although... Yeah, that shouldn't necessarily be a problem. Let's go ahead and just lay siege to the city. That really the entire garrison? Okay, if that's the situation, to storm the place. Because that's almost a situation where it's like, oh, I need to storm the place before the enemies arrive. The garrison to the city. Emergency troops arrive, because magic of stealth to get us in close. Everything's become a problem. Yeah. Here comes the reinforcements. That's what I should have expected. Well, let's be fair, what I expected. Like, yeah, it's just our 7 guys versus 3. We'll handle 3. Massive enemy army comes out of the woodworks. Yeah. For some reason, the AI decided to bring in their warships, which is now doing the smart thing and trying to get out of range of the land troops, because the land troops are going to tear new one if they stay too close. Okay, now fight's over for the moment. That's causing them problems, not causing me problems. All I've sacrificed is the unit, the 7 units, so if it goes pear-shaped. Here's trench warfare. And an Era Star. So we wanted the last Science Star, which we're not going to go for. It would be 6 more techs. We're not getting money fast enough to grab the Merchant Star. We're not really growing, so it's not worth hanging around. I think it's time. It is time to tech up to the, or move up to the next era. And yeah, don't. How long are these techs? 5, 6 turns. Think for... Tempted to go Chinese to get money. Although we're not getting very much money, so 15% more money is not going to be a lot. I'm tempted just to run... Really repeat... Every time we've done this, we've done Japan. But every time we get to this point in the game, it's like, I want to get the science to do... Science and industry, basically, to get get what we need left in the tech tree. Whereas Chinese is money, but... Okay, 7 per... Well, that's still not going to be very many territories, right? This is what we can check. We've only got 19 territories. Although... Oh, it's also attached, so it depends on which city it's attached to, right? I was going to go money... Definitely be the Chinese. We're definitely not making enough money, is kind of the problem. Whereas Japanese is just easy. It's just, I need science, I need industry. Science and industry help us build the... Or science gets us to the projects that we can use to win the game. Industry lets us build them. So yeah, I'm going to go Japan. Oh, and we can see they got torpedo boats as well. So kind of what's confusing the AI here is that I've got a stealth army, and they don't know where I am, other than the fact that I'm shooting them. So until they come out and reveal themselves, we're just getting free shots most of the time. I reveal myself if I get next to them, but they've got to come out of the fortress to find me, and they haven't done that yet. So this is just not going well for them as a side effect. Should be the last turn, because it's waiting for them to just take their turn where they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, we're doing surprising amount of damage just with stealth. There we go. So yeah, I've committed to going Japan again. I think the science is going to help us. Specifically, the super science is going to help us. As far as getting... fame, doing the theory of relativity really early on will help. Is there a deed for flight? Symposium. Nuclear weapon test pioneer. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's no, at least as far as I can tell, there's no flight competitive deed. Probably what we're going to do is we're going to put aeronautics in the back burner and grab Research Institute for the fame down there. And then this last area here has a lot of, well, we're going to go back to battleship. But we've got submarine, we got landing craft, home guard. That'll help us do a lot of the fighting. But it also has the stuff we need to start, if I can find it in the tech tree quickly, sort of the space race projects. Space station, so there's one of them. There's fame, that's one way we're going to do it. We obviously want to be the one to start that. There's the geosynchronous satellites. Again, that's fame. We want to be the one to start that system, that process. Basically beat them to it. Obviously, the last couple techs are all worth fame, so we can get to them faster. But that's why we're doing Japan. It's just we want to do more science. Not China. If we'd leaned into money earlier, China probably would have been good to do. Although had we leaned into money earlier, then China maybe wouldn't be good to do because we'd have the money. Right? If we don't have enough money for the money that China would be providing to be good. One of the things is to get up to renewable energy, so we probably want to get up there as well. Wait, there's a couple different projects in here. Space station and such that are sources of fame. So we want to get into the last era fairly soon. No, we're transitioning now. And then we want to basically blow through these techs as quickly as possible to get to all the sources of fame. And then trigger the end of the game. We're gonna play the end turn here. We're gonna see the video for the final era, and then I am probably at that point gonna put the part break and bring the stream to close. We'll in the next stream play out the game, I think. Will be the plan.
The human mind, creative, imaginative, and ingenious at turning every single human invention to its most violent end. We pray or hope, looking forward to a future which, with luck, will be counted in millennia, not in months. Knowledge and technology form the backbone of the culture. But where would the world be without sushi and manga?
Yeah, here we are in the contemporary era.
Well done. A rigorous application of the scientific method. Come up with a theory, then try to poke holes in it.
So yeah, we're not in first yet. We need to get another 2,300 more than they're getting. So they'll be trying to get some as we do that. A lot of the endgame projects, I think, are going to be the way we do this. Which is one of the reasons we want Blossoming Innovation, so we can just take faster. We just get to those projects quicker, we can do them quicker. Apparently we've entered the era and we've already got 2 done. We got enough builders to pick the first builder one up. Got enough military units killed to pick the next militarist one up. And yeah, this one is earn as much fame as you can. There's a couple different ways to end this era. If you somehow do all 21 of these stars, the game ends. If we vassalize everyone, the game ends. If we conquer everyone, the game ends. If we colonize Mars, the game ends. If we research all the techs at the end of the tech tree, the game ends. So we'd like to arrange that when that happens, when any of those happen, we have the most fame. That may be a hard push. We're still 2,300 behind. Although most of those things provide a lot of fame. And we apparently have a slight advantage on them right now in technology. We've done the symposium. They can't research, and I'll queue it up so I don't forget it for next time. Turn aeronautics off. They can't research Institute right now. So if we can get this done before they can get into this era, that's under fame. We're going to want aeronautics. We're probably going to want to go into aerial warfare for the aluminum for our special unit for our plane. Airport also probably wouldn't be a terrible thing. We'll probably want uranium fairly early on. We're going to want amphibious warfare so we can get those submarines to deal with the capital ships. It may be tempting to go naval air strategy so we can get the aircraft carrier and modern ships. Not too worried about modern vehicles right now until we see what they're running for stuff. We don't need construction team. Haven't seen any oil. There probably is some oil, so civil engineering would probably be pretty good to get. Maybe not rush worthy. Yeah, we'll probably want that for the uranium isotopes, nuclear subs, aluminum smelting on that. Science and regular district would actually be nice. Get that sooner rather than later. Not worried about that. Not be worried about that. Don't need to worry about insurrection theory, unless we think they're starting to become a problem. Plus, lots of job slots. Okay. Social housing wouldn't be bad. Don't necessarily need plastics or residential housing. Enough stability for the moment. Rocket science. Like, say, renewables. Again, we're not too worried about the military stuff right now. We're holding them at bay with pretty antiquated stuff. Geosynchronous. Oh, the science per population's tempting. Yeah. So that's probably the 18 or so techs we're going to do, prioritize in the contemporary era. At which point, once we're done with that, it's probably either win with the projects or win by getting these final techs. Each of these are like 300 fame, right? Exoskeleton for gunners. AA. Influence on Plaza. Stability. Industry. Yeah, bunch of useful techs down there. But yeah, we're not gonna hang around too much longer on this stream. If you're watching on YouTube, there probably will be another part up tomorrow. Obviously, this is where I'm going to bring this stream to a close. We're going to basically play out the contemporary era in the next stream. That in mind, let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up the schedule for Twitch so I can remind Twitch what the schedule will be looking like over the next couple days. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this was what the schedule was over the last couple days. So if you can't wait for these bits to come live on YouTube, you can sneak over to Twitch and watch the VODs. The VODs do stay up for 14 days after they are streamed. So today was Humankind. Tuesday will be Shadow of Empire. If we finish early, we'll do Song 66. Otherwise, that will be started in the stream after or whenever Shadow Empire gets on. So Tuesday, Shadow Empire. Wednesday, Whiskerwood. We might be getting close to the end of Whiskerwood. Thursday, Victoria 3. I think we're going to get real close. I might not finish it up in the next one. It depends on how quickly the game runs in the case of Victoria 3, as far as finishing Victoria 3 on Thursday. Friday is going to be Return to Humankind as we play out the contemporary era. I don't suspect it's going to take more than 4 parts. to end the game. So Friday will probably be when we finish the run of Humankind. If we finish real early, I'll have another game prepared to take over the slot. Otherwise, that will take up the slot 4 days after the end of Humankind. Saturday will be either Shadow Empire if we haven't finished, or Song 6 if we have. Sunday will be Whiskerwood if we... Well, probably be Whiskerwood. Don't think we're that close to the end of the game, although we are reasonably close. We'll see how intensive it is to build some stuff. We might try getting railroad tracks, or at least seeing how they look. They also did a rebalance in fishing. A whole bunch of different stuff. But yeah, that's the upcoming rough schedule for the next 6 days. Shadow Empire, Whiskerwood, Victoria 3, Humankind, Shadow Empire, Songs of 6, Whiskerwood. Next 6 days. Yep. I'll try to get a little bit better idea of what's replacing what over the next couple days as well. Should probably have figured that out by the time you are watching this live on YouTube. Although, if you have suggestions and you're watching this live on YouTube, feel free to let me know. They may get put in the proverbial queue. I have got a couple things I want to do. Over the vacation break, I did pick up Planet Crafter, Subnautica Below Zero, and one other game. And I've seen some Darkest Dungeon content, so some of that stuff is going to find its way into the schedule. So I hope everyone has been enjoying. Until next time, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.